Welcome back to Tell Me About Yourself, the series where I sit down with Carlmont staff and talk to them about their work lives, their personal lives, and how each have been affected by COVID. This week, I sit down with Ms. Dominguez, who is a counselor at Carlmont. Just tell me a bit about yourself, what students might not know about you, and like what you do outside of school and that kind of thing.
I do a lot of gardening, a lot of reading. I used to have a nonprofit, but that kind of dwindled down. So now I'm just doing a lot more reading. So yeah, something that my students probably wouldn't know about me is that I have 3 deaf sisters and a deaf brother. I come from a really big family. I'm one of 12 kids, and 4 of which are deaf, and they know sign. And I know a little bit of sign, but not as much as I used to, kind of like my Spanish. So yeah.
What made you want to become a counselor at Carlmont?
So I was actually, after I got my bachelor's and my master's, my goal was to become a clinician, a therapist, and I was working at a clinic, and my supervisor asked me if I would consider talking to her friend who was a principal. So on my way home from the clinic one time, I stopped and talked to the high school principal there, and he hired me. And I told him, like, no, I'm not here. I mean, I even showed it. Seriously, I wasn't dressed or anything. I just stopped by on my way home. And I told him, when he offered me the job, I told him that I hated high school. I said, I hate high school. When I was in high school, I hated it. I was a horrible student. I barely graduated. I would not be a good counselor. And he said, that's what would make you a perfect counselor, is knowing that kids don't have to be perfect.
So how does your life as a counselor differ in remote learning versus in-person learning?
Yeah, it's nice because I do have my seniors that are checking email more often now. So it's nice about the thing with distance learning is everybody's, I have a captive audience now, right? But what's hard is the students that are not online, it's hard for me to reach out to them. Like I can't, because we're in COVID, or, it's not like I can go and knock on their door. Or it was different if I saw them on campus, I can pull them out of class, I can have a greater impact that way. But with remote learning, it's hard to do that.
How has the college admissions landscape changed because of COVID?
It's changed a lot just for this year, though, because this is not a normal year, right? Because for seniors, I'm cautioning them from applying early action or early decision, because that means that you want the colleges to admit you without looking at your first semester grades your senior year, which in most cases it's fine. But remember, you didn't even get any grades in the junior year of the spring. It was all pass, no pass. So if you wanted to show the colleges that you're doing better now or whatever, you can't do that if you apply early. Number 2, the testing. It's really been nice helping students look at colleges everywhere without having to worry about their test score. It definitely took away one barrier for students.
Do you have any funny stories from your time as a counselor?
Back then, I had a huge parent email list, kind of like Mrs. Razor does now. As a final little email to the senior parents in June, I would say stuff like, "Oh, it's great working with you guys, and and helping you and your family get you ready for college." And then towards the end, I would say, "If your child goes off to college and they don't have time for you, that's part of their independence, right? That's part of the college experience." I said, "But do what I do with my daughter. Send them a card and tell them that you miss them. Right in there, I miss you. I'd love to, hope you're doing well. And here's a check for $100." I said, "But don't put the check in there. They'll call you." So and parents always love that. Leave the check out. Trust me, they'll call you back.
Thanks again to Ms. Dominguez for letting me interview her, and for Scott Center, this is Ethan Mann.